Hello, good evening. Welcome to the last live stream of the year. Today is Wednesday, the 31st of December, and as usual, I'm starting at 6 o'clock evening time, UK time. I'm going to be here for a couple of hours if things go to plan, but again, because it's live and because it's the New Year's Eve, I have no idea if there's going to be anyone watching me. So it all depends on, whereas there are some people at home who decided to spend the New Year's Eve with me here. For those who are new to my channel, I am a therapist and coach, and I use my free time, including New Year's Eve, to come here twice a week to talk about mental health and therapy and anything to do with the mind and how we can enhance and ameliorate our quality of life from those places. So the way I function is that I take questions, and the way I start my live streams is by reading and commenting on some of my posts, and hopefully at some point some of you will have gathered the courage or the inspiration to ask me some questions, and I do my best to give you some suggestions that could help you, hopefully, in your personal life. We have Wilma. Hello. Hello, Wilma. Echo. Okay, so let me read some posts, and again, all of my live streams are to be found the following day and replayed if you found the live stream interesting and you wanted to retrieve some information. Let's get started. The first post goes like this. Jealousy is not born from the fear of losing a partner, but from the fear of not being good enough to keep them. So very often, some of us, when we are jealous of someone, we're looking in the wrong place. We look at them and we're thinking they're bad, they're going to cheat on me, and we get obsessed. We check their phone. We can't trust them. And we don't realize that the problem is not us. It's not them. It's us. We're projecting our own feeling of inadequacy and the belief that love is not available to us. If I believe that being in a happy, easy, and long-lasting, loving relationship is not available to me because of my own upbringing, of what I've learned with relationship with my parents, then I will have that sense of self, and I will never be able to trust anyone as an adult, for them to stay in my life and love me the way we all want to be loved. And so jealousy is a projection of our own fears. And so if we feel that we're in relationships, and if it's a pattern that is creating problems in our lives, you want to look inward as opposed to looking at them, as opposed to not trusting others. It's not that we're not trusting others. In reality, we're not trusting ourselves to be able to be lucky and have that partner longer. Next post. For some of us, it is not the people that we have to let go of, but the illusion that they may change. So this is for those of us who have grown up in some abusive, dysfunctional families, for instance, or with some narcissistic people. And so we are holding on to them because we're still expecting them to change. And what we should let go of really is that hope, that expectation. We're hoping and expecting for people to give us something that they have never been able to give us, and they will never. And it's precisely because we know that we are not going to be able to do that we are attached to them. It's a self-sabotage kind of subconscious phenomenon. And so, for some of us, it's not the people that we have to let go of, but the illusion that they may change. We find it difficult to cut the umbilical cord with narcissistic parents, for instance, because we're still waiting for them to change. And so if we can realize that they will never change, then it's easier to create a space between us and them. Next post. There's no male loneliness epidemic, only the patriarchy trying to control the narrative. And so this is not to say that people don't suffer. What I'm trying to say here is that men have always suffered, women as well. People have always suffered. People who have always been dealing with all sorts of conditions, starting with depression and anxiety and emotional repression. But when people talk about the male loneliness epidemic, it sounds as if it's something new. It's because of technology, it's because of the social media, it's because people are too woke, all those sort of things. This is precisely why people are having this sort of non-conversation, as far as I'm concerned. There's no male loneliness epidemic. There's the patriarchy who has been hurting men, women, and anyone in between ever since it was invented, because it's the nature of its structure. And it's trying to basically get us to look in the wrong place so that we don't dismantle the whole system that is the culprit to all of our mental and emotional imbalances and illnesses. There are some comments I'm going to read. So we've got Crowberry Black. Hello, I finally made it. I'm super excited to be here. Fantastic, thank you. So if you have any questions, anything you'd like to talk about, mindset, emotional intelligence, mindfulness, any of those things, just ask me. And I'm happy to guide you guys personally through your own personal problems and do my best to give you some actionable suggestions. Louis J. Benz, hi, hello. Tanner said hi, hello Tanner. What is the topic? Mental health, psychology, human behavior, relationships, people, understanding why we do the things we do, why we feel the way we feel, why we react and interact the way we do with one another, those sort of things. If we can understand the psychology of us and others, now everything becomes easier. I always saw it like that. Out of all the things that we can study, if we could understand the mind, then we can enhance anything else, because everything goes through the filters of our mind. And so whatever that you are into, if you understand how your mind functions, you can really, really make the most of whatever that you're interested, any aspect of your life. And so yes, behavioral science, psychology, understanding people, right? So I utilize some things that I know throughout my own experience as a therapist, but also because of my obsession about the mind. I am not a scientist, but I do read a lot of neuroscientific papers to understand about the new things that people find out about the brain, which is very important to understand how it functions. Until we're able to see what was happening in the brain with scans, with electroencephalograms and all those things, people just made up, imagined whatever psychology they thought was about. And it's only been in the last maybe 25 years that we started to have some solid data that would show us that this is what happens when that happened. So we have been able to dismantle everything that people used to believe about psychology, because people just made things up back then. M3WTO. Question. If a person not liking a hater, does it mean that the person is a hater's hater, hence the person hating themselves? This is a strange question. Let me try to understand. If a person doesn't like someone that doesn't like them, does it mean that... So first thing first, things are never because of one reason. We're not one thing because of something else. Whatever that we are is always the result of many things all occurring at the same time in that moment, just for that moment. So we want to expand our understanding of ourselves. We want to realize that life is not unidimensional. The reason why someone is anything at all is because of this and that and many more things, and it's about understanding the bigger picture of us in order to make sense of it all. But if we believe that, is it because of A or B? Is it because of this or that? Is it because of right or wrong? Then now we're going to be limiting our mental ability and our worldview. And this is one of the reasons why so many suffer. We all do this, and I was the same for a vast majority of my life. Everything was about black or white, right or wrong, true or false. And it's never just this or that. Everything is always the result of many different things. So let me read the question again. If a person doesn't like a hater, just that, there's all sorts of reasons. We don't like someone who doesn't like us because first we are protecting ourselves. First we have an ego that exists to protect us from criticism, from judgment, from anyone pointing the fingers at us. And so that's the first answer. It doesn't mean that we are haters, or it could be, maybe yes, maybe not, maybe there's so much more to this than that. And so yeah, does it mean that the person is a hater's hater, hence the person hating themselves? And do we hate ourselves? This is a whole different conversation. Again, there's a whole difference between correlation and causation. And very often we get confused, we confuse ourselves because we have some understanding of some things, and we are stuck into those perspectives instead of expanding our range of perspective and being able to get a broader picture of things. So, yep, does it make sense at all? M3WTO? But just to answer your question directly, if a person doesn't like a hater, does it mean that the person is a hater's hater? Has the person hating themselves? The answer is, it depends. So this is the ultimate universal answer to everything. It depends. Everything is contextual. Everything is context dependent. Everything is again the result of many parameters being put into place in that moment and for that moment only. Nicoline Jakic said, hi, hello. Tana, how effective is environmental conditions in shaping human beings' psychological status? It's a very, very good question. It is paramount. Everything that we are starts from, it doesn't start from there, but it's mainly influenced by our environment. And so basically there are two things that makes us us. There is nature and nurture. Nature is our genes, nurture is the environment. But what we need to realize is that our genes is only a collection of data in our DNA that is going to be responding to an environment. And so just the genes is worth nothing if there's not an environment that is going to either trigger the propensity of a gene or not. And so as we are born, we are a cell. And then the first environment we're going to grow up in is mom's womb. It is already an environment. And so the propensity we have to react to anything, we start from the womb. What it means is that from a physiological and psychological perspective, whatever mom is going to go through, whatever physical and emotional state, this will already start to influence the genes of the child in the womb. So the first 9 months, we're already trying to change. If mom is happy and cheered, it's one thing. If she's stressed out, if she's anxious, if she's angry, if she's suffering, it's going to affect our genes. We're going to start to already change within the womb. Now, that version of us that is different from the start, because we have evolved throughout the 9 months, as we come out as babies, is going to be facing a new phase, a new environment. And that's going to be the environment of when you're a baby surrounded by people. And so the first 7 years is when we're going to really create all of our most core belief as subconscious belief, but basically what we understand of the world. And so the way we're going to interact with our parents, the way we're going to treat us, we're going to look after us or not, is going to further influence the propensity of our DNA, of our genes, of what we have become so far. So that's the next phase of environment. And then there's the next one. After the age of 7, we start going to school. So we have now a broader exposure to society and different people. And now that version of us that has developed up to that point is going to keep on reacting to that new environment that is school, life, and that will continue all throughout our life. And our brain is only fully formed by between the age of 25 and 30. Until then, it's still developing. And so whatever is happening up to the age of 25 or 30 is going to keep shaping our brain, the way we function. And when I talk about the brain, it's not just the head, it's also our emotional regulation or not. How we are able to feel things, our whole emotional experience is also going to be shaped by every single thing that happened to us from when we are in the womb up till the age of 25 or 30, depending on people. And so environment is so important. Some of us have ADHD, and for a long time we believed there was a gene, but there's no gene for ADHD. There's a hypersensitivity. There is a propensity for it. And Dr. Gabor Mate, I think, was the first guy to talk about it like that. And it is the environment that will either trigger that gene and make it worse or not. And so even though it's always both nature and nurture, the environment, nurture is far more important into that equation, into how we're going to develop for the first 30 years of our life. So yes, that was for Tana. Does it answer your question? And also, something else that I want to add is that even though we reach the age of 30, we're still in an environment. And so now we have a map of the world, we have a lot of belief, we have a lot of emotional, subconscious triggers, reactions, systems in place. But our environment is going to be society, media, social media, newspapers, radio, television, people, neighbors, people in the pub, people in the streets, people at work, just people. Everything that we're going to see and hear, the people we're going to interact with, the ideas that are going to be passed around, that we're going to absorb, all of those things are going to be another environment for us to adapt and react to. And so the environment is not just throughout our upbringing. What I was trying to explain is how our brain develops and how we become who we are from a mental and emotional perspective. But it actually carries on. And so this is one of the things that not many people talk about when it comes to mental health. Mental health is not just about addressing our past, our trauma, our conditions. It's also about addressing society at large. Society is designed to exploit us. Society doesn't care about us. The system is rigged from the beginning. Everything about it is rigged. And if we can understand that, now we can work together to change some aspect of it. But the way society is structured is toxic to the vast majority of us by design. And so, yeah, we need to address this as well. Nicolene Najakik, interesting topic, thank you. Crowberry Black, I'm really struggling with my financial and physical health after years of narcissistic abuse. The mental and emotional growth wasn't quick and easy at all because I've been doing this on my own. Okay. Do you want to talk about this? I'm happy that you are doing something about it. And I want you to realize that nothing is going to be easy, nothing is going to be quick, nothing is going to be simple. It's a journey for all of us. If you have suffered from some narcissistic abuse and it's affected you mentally, emotionally, and financially, then it would take time. It would take years, decades, a lifetime. It's normal. So the first thing what you want to do is to drop the expectations of wanting to change everything straight away. I want to change ASAP. It's not going to happen because you need to change so much. But it is possible and you have time. We all have time as long as we're alive. Life is made of time, literally. And so if you want to talk about anything, I'm here for the next couple of hours. M3WTO. I was noticed people who tend to seek positivity in their life, like in live stream, say only positivity allows here. They tend to kick those haters away. So in this case, if ... So it's a little bit scattered. I don't kick any hater, but if I get people who are starting to bring some negative energy in the chat, I will get rid of them because it's a place for everyone to feel safe and to be able for them to express themselves and to share things about themselves. And so I understand psychology. So I understand that even people who may come across a little bit strange, they are the way they are and they can, deserve my help as well. But there's a line. When people start to be racist, when people start to be offensive, when people start to attack people out of nowhere for no reasons at all, even though I understand where they're coming from, I need to protect everyone else, right? We need to realize that there's a place and a time for everyone. And so I wish them well. I wish them to find their help at the right place at the right time. But if anyone is going to be toxic on my live streams, I just get rid of them. I wish them the best, but they're no longer welcome at this point in time because they are creating a negative energy for everyone else. But I'm not doing this to punish them. I'm doing it to protect everyone else. Is that what you meant? M3WTO? Show Neo. Overthinker, help me. Okay, let's talk about this. I want you to tell me about yourself first, please. Tell me about your definition of overthinking. Why do you think that you are an overthinker? What sort of things do you think about? What are the patterns? Are there any triggers? Do they always arrive at the same time? Are they always about the same sort of things? Are you living in a state of stress and anxiety? Are you overwhelmed? Do you have depression? Do you have any conditions at all? If you can give me some information about yourself, then we can get started. Because otherwise, at this point in time, all I've got is overthinker, help. And I don't know which direction to go. There's so many different directions I could go. M3WTO. If they don't hate the haters, means their seeking is over. Like even haters is inside, they don't reject anymore. This is very convoluted. I don't understand. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm going to try one more time because I really want you to realize that I want to come in your direction, but I need to be able to understand what you say. If they don't hate the haters, means the seeking is over, question mark. I don't understand. The seeking of what? Like even haters is inside, they don't reject anymore. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I really want to understand, but this is not, this is hard on my head. It hurts my brain. And so if you could find a way to maybe, I don't know, Google Translate, if English is not your first language, so that I can have some short, concise, bullet point question and I can understand what you mean, I would love to have that conversation with you. But at this point in time, it's just not possible to me. I'm so sorry. Simple soft days. How do I deal with rejection? Okay, let's talk about this. Rejection, everything about life is a perception. And so when people are rejecting us, it's our perception of something that happened. In reality, there are many ways to look at the same situation. And so the simple way, the shortcut to this is to replace rejection with redirection. I want you to realize that when people make you feel like they have rejected you, it's because you're looking at it from a certain point of view, perspective. You're looking at it like you have some belief about yourself because of your childhood, because of things that happened to you, and you're going to believe, if someone says no to me, it means that I am not good enough. It means that I am not worthy. It means that I don't deserve love. It means that blah, 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 whatever that we have in our mind. And in reality, it doesn't mean that. It only means that they said no because of X, Y, Z. There are millions of reasons as to why they could have said no. And so the way I see it is that we have a destiny. and I believe that the universe looks after us. And sometimes when we are not ready for something, or if it's not for us, then the universe is going to redirect us in a better direction. In the moment, it sucks, because in the moment we feel that we are being rejected. But if we look back with hindsight, many of the things that happened to us in the past that sucked then have transpired to actually be blessings in disguise. And so I want to maybe, for you, to try to look at your life like that. See that everything that happens to you happens for a reason. The universe is always taking you in different places. And I know that this is annoying for some people when I say everything happens for a reason. I genuinely believe in that. I believe that everything happens for a reason, and we only get upset because we don't accept the reason, or because we don't know the reason, or because the reason doesn't fit our expectations and projections. And so how do you deal with rejection? By changing the narrative, change the meaning, change the idea that you have about the situation. I didn't get that job. Is it because I'm not good enough? They rejected me? No. It's because there are other things better for me. And so, or maybe I'm not ready yet. And it's a good thing for me then not to end up there, because otherwise that'll be very creating more problems, me being in a place where I'm not ready for. It's like me, my first most important dream when I was a teenager was to be a musician, was to be a rock star. And I came to London with my bands to become a rock star. But here's the thing, because I have my conditions, I didn't do it because of the love of the music. I did it to become a rock star. I wanted to impress people. I was I was being grandiose, and it was a system that I had to experience because of my conditions. But also I was taking a lot of drugs and drinking alcohol every day. I was all over the place. I have borderline personality disorder, bipolar, ADHD, and CPTSD. And so what I'm trying to say is that life redirected me to what I'm doing now. And sometimes I'm thinking, I wish that I was a musician because I really loved it. But the truth of the matter is that if I succeeded, if I became successful, that would have been terrible news for me. Because of a mental state that was so poor, I would have ended up like Amy Winehouse or Kurt Cobain or one of those guys. And so now looking back with hindsight, and now that I found something else that is actually that I'm good at, that is working for me, that is really fulfilling me, which is anything to do with mental health and the mind, I don't have any regrets anymore. But back then, I felt rejected by all those record companies, by anyone who didn't give me what I wanted according to my original plan. And so yes, replace rejection with redirection and see what happens. Does it help? Or are you thinking about personal relationship, romantic relationship? We can talk about this if you want. Again, guys, I'm trying my best to give you something, but I need you to try your best to give me more specificity. If you give me just a vague general question, I will answer you based on whatever comes into my mind at a general level. But if you can be more specific, I would love to be more specific as well and go down that rabbit hole with you, and to really try to take you by the hand for whatever you're going through. Nicolina Jackie at Crowberry Black. Been there, it takes years to recover from narc abuse, but you can do it. Yes, it's possible indeed. Yes, absolutely. Simple soft days. Should I accept that nobody likes me and keep to myself? It's not true that nobody likes you, not at all. It's a big world out there. And if you believe that nobody likes you, your brain is going to create that reality for you. It's going to get you to notice and back up and highlight anything that you believe. And so if I believe no one likes me, maybe because I'm depressed, or maybe because my parents didn't love me, or I've been bullied at school, now my brain is going to seek out for more proof of evidence that no one likes me. The brain is biased by design. It works for us. It's going to say, okay, what do you want today? And I'm going to say, oh, nobody likes me. Okay, so now my mind is going to feel that. It's going to feel, okay, so now we want to find out who is not going to like me. And we're going to be focused and obsessed with that. And we're going to take everything personally. It's going to distort our experience of reality. And we're going to really feel and even make happen. We're going to behave in ways that people are going to react to. We're going to attract the wrong people. And we're going to create this for ourselves. And we would have fulfilled our own prophecy, because this is what the brain does. And there's a very simple analogy that I use often, is that it's like Googling something. So now I don't know if it's the same because of AI, but the idea is that if you Google why are dogs better than cats, you will get at the top of the page a lot of lists as to why dogs are better than cats. But if you Google why are cats better than dogs, top of the page, you have a lot of lists as to why cats are better than dogs. And so the mind does the same. Your brain is going to focus on what it thinks you want it to get from it. I don't know why the brain is a bloke, but your brain is like a machine that is going to seek out for you what it thinks you want it to seek out for you. It's going to gather with evidence. And so all of this to say is that your experience is valid. If you suffer from depression, if you believe that no one loves you, I get it. I was there myself for long enough to really understand that it's real. The experience is real. But it doesn't mean that you are limited by it. This is an experience that is the result, the continuation of everything that happened to you up to this point. If you can find a way to change the way your brain functions, you'll be able to see that there are actually a lot of nice people who like you, or maybe who are waiting to get to know you and to love you for who you are. They exist, they're there. There are billions of us. It's about you being aligned in a way that you can find people who are vibrating at a happier energy, and then we can connect with them at that level. Until then, you will attract people who will fit the narrative that you have about your life and your reality. I hope it makes sense. But it's not true that no one in the world can like you. Maybe at this point in time, the people that you see, maybe it's true, they don't like you for whatever reason, but it's not because of you, and it's not because the world is like that and there's nothing you can do about it. Not at all. It's because this is how your brain has developed to perceive reality and translate it for you and seek and highlight and find out what you have programmed it to find for you. Does it help? Simple, soft days? M3WTO. You should accept that you are here to live, not to please people. So this is a whole different. I didn't understand the first bit, but I'm just going to take it from there. I do agree with you. We're here to live our life, not to please other people. I agree with that. So we're going to work like a puzzle, maybe like a jigsaw. I'm going to go through the comments and try to put them together, and maybe I will understand what you meant at some point by the end. Simple soft test. I'm not a people pleaser. Okay. Oh, maybe M3W2 was talking to simple soft test. Okay. So in that case, this is between you guys. M3WTO. Do you have any books to introduce? Can you introduce? I can talk about a lot of books. I read books every single day, and I've been doing it for a long, long time. And so I don't know. It depends on the topic. What sort of books are you into? What sort of things would you like to discover? If you can tell me about some topics, some interest of yours, then I may be able to direct you towards some books. Simple soft days, looking up emoji. Peter Van. Okay, Peter Van, this is very offensive. This is very racist. This is very naughty. So I'm going to get rid of you, okay? So Peter Van, we're going to not be able to see whatever that you say. Hard user on this channel. And that's it. Let's forget about that, Peter. It doesn't matter. M3WTO. Okay, simple. Let's live an amazing life. That's the goal. Indeed, I agree with you. Now, how is the question for most of us. Tana, I really wonder how all this current torrential exposure to social media will affect psychology of upcoming generation in near future. Okay, this is a good conversation. I can see it coming. Let's finish it. It causes minimal social interaction within them. Your views, yes. I don't agree with that. This is the narrative of people saying, technology, social media, internet, TikTok, whatever, but it's not true. If you look back at times before, times were never better. This is a fallacy. This is a lie. There are old people who believe that times were better back then, and they're trying to preach that, but things were different. And there are all sorts of things happening, but everyone has always been dealing with their own struggle all along. The struggles were different. And so, because technology is always meant to move forward and evolve, now we're looking in the wrong place. If you look at the state of humanity at a global level, it's been better and better all along. It's just that every time there's new things happening, people are blaming the new thing instead of understanding our human nature. The problem is not the thing. The problem is some part of us, some part of our humanity that is creating problems, that is using those tools in toxic, nefarious, noxious ways. And so social media affects psychology of upcoming generation. I don't believe that. The problem is not the social media. The problem is that we live in a system that is capitalist, patriarchal, and ableist, those sort of things. This is what we want to look at. It's the way we think. It's how we repress our emotions. It's how we believe in division, us versus them, and all of those things. And because of that, now we're all over the place. We're being exploited by the system. We get stressed out. We get burnt out. We believe that we must work harder. We must work everything comes at the price of hardship, and some people are telling people, guys, it's because of women, and others are telling women it's because of men, and everyone is fighting, or because it's because of the immigrants, it's because of the foreigners, it's because of the trans people, it's because of this or that. It's always because, and it is that narrative that is toxic. This is what we want to address. We want to understand that society, the way it is structured, is toxic by design. And the social media is just a tool. It's like the analogy that I always use is like a hammer. A hammer can produce beautiful things. You can be a sculptor and use a chisel and a hammer to create some statues. You can build a house, you can build a boat, but you can also smash someone's face. And so it's not the thing, it's the people. It's always been. And again, another analogy that I always use is religion. Religion can be beautiful, but it can also be terrible, as we've seen, sadly, for thousands of years throughout the history of humanity. And so it's not the religion, it's how some people are using it to manipulate others, to get them to do certain things. And so social media is just this, technology is just that, AI is just that. It doesn't matter. The problem was never that. The problem is the human nature, the human psychology. The repressed emotions is the system that is conditioning us to believe that we must look into those places. Because of that, it's giving us an illusion of control, right? Like people who are voting for extreme right parties, if they don't realize that immigrants, they are so useful in any countries, beneficial to them. Like I'm one of them. Instead of believing the propaganda and the rhetoric that they are coming here to take over your job, we are conditioned to look in the wrong place. If anything, information is great. We're learning so much more. The newest generation, they're so much more educated as far as mental and emotional health is concerned than any previous generations. And so things are getting better at a broad level. Now, some of us suffer from that. But there's also the question as to why this exists. It exists because there's a demand. Everything exists because there is a demand. And so this is the opiate of the people, I think it's called, right, in English. The opium or the opiate of the people. It is there to distract people from the fact that they're being exploited by the system. So we're going to get people to fight against each other. It's because of them, it's because of that. Every time there's been a new advance in technology or lifestyle, everyone has been reacting different ways. And on one hand, there are those who are excited about change. And on the other hand, there are those who are trying to resist change. And change is inevitable. It's called evolution. When people came up with tractors, I read something about it. All the farmers were very, very upset. It's never going to replace us, it's bad. Now look at the state of things. When credit cards started, everyone were going, cash is king. It's never going to catch up. And so on and so forth. And it's the same thing with internet. When first internet happened, everyone was like, it's bad, the dark web. But the world functions through internet now. And the next level is AI. And social media is just a part of it. And so it's just evolution, right? We're looking in the wrong place. People are getting us to look in the wrong place. That's my view on this. Simple soft days. Okay. M3WTO. Exposure of short videos nowadays already make human attention span decrease dramatically. That's one thing that's obvious. It's not the short video that is getting to decrease. It's that those people already had propensity for it. People looking again in the wrong direction. I have ADHD. And so I know that TikTok can be a very bad idea for me if I'm not in the right place. But because I understand the mind, because I have a purpose, because I know how to use my ADHD, I don't get trapped by TikTok. Or if I ever do, it's very, very rare. Right? But I would never blame TikTok. It's not because of TikTok, it's because of my propensity to need some dopamine boost every now and then. And for people who suffer from that, it's not because of TikTok or any other social media. It is because they don't have a purpose. They don't have happiness. They don't have peace. And so they need to distract themselves away from that life of depression and anxiety and dissatisfaction. The problem is not the social media. The problem is that society is utilizing people like cattle. It's treating them like cattle. And so it's giving all of those things, alcohol, drugs, gambling, all those things, for also to get people a chance to forget about their life so that they can continue producing for a capitalist system at their own expense, at the expense of their life and their purpose and their happiness and their health. And so yes, it's not the social media that is decreasing our attention span. It's that we already had either like people like me a propensity for that, or because we don't have anything in our life, so we need something to distract ourselves away from that void. The problem is not the solution to avoid. The problem is the void. Kevin, I never used to make New Year's resolutions, but this year will be different. Okay, fantastic. Check out my video. Since you're talking about this, I put one new long form video on YouTube every week. I just put one today, every Wednesday. And the one today is about the myth of stupidity. So check it out if you care about this. But the one that I've done last week was about New Year's resolutions. And so on the thumbnail, it reads, New Year's resolutions work if you do this. So basically, I'm teaching how, for so many New Year's resolutions don't work. I explain why. I'm exposing the troubleshooting problems that everyone encounters and how we can make their New Year's resolution works. So check out log form video. Go on my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I appreciate everyone's support. And the video that I put last week is called How to Create New Habits That Last Simply and Easily. But if you want to talk about your New Year's resolution now, we can talk about this as well. I can give you some pointers if you want. Crowberry Black, thank you for answering my question. I do have another question after so long away from my toxic family, okay? Why did I start to view them as one singular threat rather than a group of individuals? Let me try to see the difference. One singular threat, a group of individuals. I don't understand the difference. So you're not seeing them as people, you're seeing them like a threat. Is that what you mean? If that's what you mean, I'm not surprised. Maybe you are coming to some level of self-awareness, you are realizing some things about the past, you came across some readings, people who expanded your mind, and you understand more about psychology, about the fact that indeed they hurt you and you were never in the wrong, and you have to create a space between you and them. Is that what you meant? Crowberry? Iman Hamdi 639. Hi there. Why can we understand our anxiety patterns intellectually, yet still struggle to integrate or accept them emotionally or in the body? Thanks. Okay, very good question. Because they're not the same mind that we use. So basically we have a cognitive mind here, the brain, the head. This is about thoughts and pictures. And we have an emotional mind, which is your heart, your body, your nervous system, anything about feeling. And so there are different minds, they have different functions, different purpose, different strength, but most importantly, a different language. And so when we feel anxiety, this is happening in the feeling mind. We can think about some intellectual explanation of what we feel, but that will stick to that place. We think thoughts, we feel feelings. Anxiety is a feeling that we experience. And so if you have a problem with depression or anxiety, with stress, we suffer essentially from emotions and feelings. We don't suffer from thought. We suffer from the stress that we feel because of certain thought. And the problems, the triggers, the blocks are all subconscious. They are in our nervous system. So we can understand about anxiety. So there are different types of anxiety. Some of them, we know exactly why we're there. Maybe something to do with the past, maybe something to do with some patterns. But sometimes we suffer from anxiety and there's no reason as far as the brain is concerned. We just feel it. We don't know why. And that's because it lives in our body, it lives in our nervous system, it lives in here, not in there. And this is one of the reasons why so many people struggle with their mental health. They seek help, they seek therapy, and they end up doing talking therapy. And talking therapy has a place. Some people enjoy this. It can be very helpful. However, if you have some trauma, if you have anything that is very deep, it's not going to change anything. It's going to explain certain things, but we will still feel the same because the problem lives here, not there. Right? And that's why we need to try to find the right type of therapy that can access how we feel. We can access the subconscious mind, the emotional mind. A lot of people actually can create problems by just overthinking the feeling. One of the reasons why we suffer for the vast majority of us is because we don't understand our emotions and our feelings. So we repress it. And overthinking, over-analyzing, over-intellectualizing is precisely that. We seek shelter in our head because we don't want to feel in our body. We've been taught that it was dangerous, it was bad. And so we have created systems. And now, instead of feeling things, we're trying to think those feelings. And this is where the problem happens. Emotions and feelings are to be felt. When we start to think about emotions and feelings, now we're creating problems. Thoughts are to be thought. We need to learn how to process the language of the body through its own vocabulary by feeling it, not thinking it. Does it help, Iman? If you want to tell me more, I'm happy to go down that conversation with you. Simple Soft today. Thank you for your answer, Didikan. Thank you so much. Wills and Wacy. Hi, hello. FLK Ocean. How can someone deal with nihilism? Thank you for providing help here. So let me type the definition of nihilism. I've been asked many times, and I still can't pronounce it.
Nihilism.
Nihilism. Okay, so let's read this. Philosophy, the belief that nothing in the world has a real existence. So it depends. It can be good or bad. It depends. What do you mean by nihilism? Why is it a problem? Because there are many different ways to approach reality. So we're talking about philosophy, but also psychology, because whatever we believe is going to impact our reality, our experience of it. And so if I go on Wikipedia, there's a little bit more thorough explanation. Nihilism is a family of philosophical views arguing that life is meaningless, that moral values are baseless, and that knowledge is impossible. Okay, so this is not good. Knowledge is impossible. No, I disagree with that. So basically, life is meaningless, but this can be experienced positively or negatively. And I created a post about it not long ago, saying that indeed life is meaningless, but it's a good thing. Because if life is meaningless, it means that we don't need to find its meaning. It doesn't have an intrinsic meaning. What it means is that we can give it a meaning, and this is the point of life. Life has no meaning, and we give it a meaning through our own exploration of it, through our own journey of self-awareness, and this is actually exciting. And so it all depends on what sort of nihilism you are thinking about and how it's impacting you. It's not necessarily bad. I do believe that life is meaningless, but I also believe that we exist precisely to give it a meaning. That's why we exist. We come into this realm of existence to experience a human experience, and whatever that it is valid because it's our life, it's our experience. Moral values are baseless. I can understand that in the sense that moral values must come from how we feel as opposed to from some books. So a lot of people who are into religion, they believe that without the religion, people wouldn't have morality. And it's not true. We all have an instinct, we all have some kindness and some compassion within us. And I believe that unless we have some conditions, unless we are lacking of empathy for whatever reasons, We all have a natural sense of morality. We don't need to study religious books to find morality. This is totally wrong, because the morality that we're going to find in some books, some of them will clash with some other books. And this is how people are fighting against each other. My truth is truer and better than your truth. Does it help? FLK Ocean. Mr. Study Emir, do you speak German? No, I don't, I'm afraid. I would love one day to maybe study it, but I don't. Praz, message retracted. Aisha, how to beat boyfriend? I don't know, with a stick? I don't know. What do you mean by this? Ray Donna Hetemi. Hi, hello. M3WTO. Can you introduce some interesting books regarding human mind and psychology? So again, human mind and psychology are vast subjects. Which part of the human mind? Which aspect of it? Which why psychology? If you can give me something specific, I can help you out. But there are tons of books. I mean, at a general level, there are so many different conversations and perspectives that we can use to approach psychology and the human mind. And so I wouldn't know where to get started. Give me a problem to solve, and I can give you a direction. Kevin, by the time I was 13 years old, I played guitar, junior high, became known in school, was bullied, but I stood up to the bully. That was Mrs. Ago, formative, Mrs. Sober, 40, Mrs. Now. Where do I grow from there? Miss Ago, formative. I don't know what is Miss Ago, formative, Miss Sober, 40. MRS. Is Miss or Mrs.? Pardon my French. Could you reframe that question for me, please, Kevin? I would love to address it, but I don't get it at this point in time. Kevin, here in the USA, enjoy your teaching. Okay, thank you, thank you. Just wanted to give you background. Could you give me your background again, but in a way that is very simple to understand for me, please? Tanner, thank you for your time and answer, of course. I'm glad you appreciate it. Super Mario Subpaneer, hello. How does one increase their focus? Can you work it out like a muscle? Yes, absolutely. But we have a limited energy, right? This is very important to realize. And so we can absolutely learn how to develop a focus. And what we want to realize is that you don't lack focus. Your mind is trying to grab other things, too many things at the same time. And that's why you find it difficult. And so we want to find out, why do I try to think about all those things that I've got nothing to do with that thing that I want to focus on? And that's all sort of reasons. We want to understand ourselves. And so, for instance, if you have ADHD, that'll be one of the reasons. If you have CPTSD, that'll be another possibility. If you suffer from any type of anxiety or depression, that's another one. The problem is not that you lack a focus. The problem is that your mind feels unsafe and is trying to look around, or it has developed that habit because it needed to find some emotional safety. And so I would address it like that, more like, right? Understand you, because I can always give you some hack. There's some ways to do this, but they're very consuming. They take a lot of energy. And so instead of giving you some hack that will work for a short amount of time, I think it's better to understand why your mind is like that. Some of us, we are born like that. Some of us, we've been traumatized. Some of us, for whatever reason, our brain has developed in a way where it's difficult to retain focus. I'm like that because of my own past. And so, yeah. Do you believe that you have any conditions yourself? My answer to you, first thing first, is to reduce stress, reduce pressure, reduce that I've got a deadline. Because the more you do this, the more you're making your life difficult. If you are thinking, oh, I want to study this or finish that project before I go to bed or whatever, now you're putting a lot of emotional stress and mental stress, and everything is going to be harder because your brain is going to be having to deal with that pressure that you're imposing yourself. So it's more about the idea of letting go of whatever is in your way rather than gaining something else. And the practice that you can learn in order to have more focus over a long period of time is mindfulness. Mindfulness is precisely that. Mindfulness is learning how to focus on one thing and one thing only. And this is what you're talking about. You're talking about a muscle. How do you train your mind like a muscle through the practice of mindfulness? However, if you have some baggage, if you are neurodivergent, there are different ways to go about it, to go at it. Yeah. Does it help, Super Mario? FLK Ocean, thanks for addressing internet issues. All right, thank you. Crowberry Black, I play with my rosemary plant every night for focus and memory. Okay, I'm not sure what it means. I'm not sure what rosemary plant is. Is it a metaphor for that sort of plant or not? Labrador, spot on, Didican. Thank you, Labrador. Miss M. Ray Dem, thanks for being there every day, even on New Year's Eve. Thank you. Well, for me, it makes no difference. I tell people that I'm here every Wednesdays and every Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time. And the reason I'm sticking to it is because I want to make sure that people know where to find me. The internet is a very big space. So by me showing up regularly allows me to give people a chance to find me when they need me. And so, unless I'm ill, unless something very, very special happens in my life, I will make sure that I come here every Wednesdays and every Fridays, regardless of whatever day, weather, or season it is. And I will be here Friday as well. Oh, sorry about that. Pumpkin Puff. Hi Didi, Happy New Year. How are you today? Happy New Year to you. I'm very well indeed. Thank you. How about you? Sprinkled at Crowberry Black. Same with mine, and it's because they all knew what was going on and they kept quiet. So they all the same abusers, etc. Talking about narcissistic people. Crowberry Black. Thank you. Another one that has me trapped and thought is I go back and remember positive experiences, happy times, and I edit family members out of the memory so I do not attribute the happiness to them. Okay, you don't need to edit out. I think it's more about you focusing on those that you want to focus on. And then the editing out will happen, it will occur naturally because your brain will be focused on those who matter more to you. But if you have a system that works for you, it sounds good. Crowberry Black, trapped in a thought. Iman, yes, it absolutely helps. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Iman. Thank you so much. I do believe there's a translation issue between feelings and rational thought. Yes, yes. I do wonder if you have any resources to recommend about this. There are tons of them. It's about learning about emotional intelligence. Let me think. There are many different ways to approach this. There is the understanding of the science behind it. As in, if you think about emotions and feelings like science, you're thinking about hormones, you're thinking about neurotransmitters, you're thinking about the chemicals in your body that are getting you to feel. Right? And so there's that. So there are books. There's one that I just started called, just let me see, because there are audiobooks, so I don't remember the titles, called, where's my library? The Biology of Trauma. So it explains from a biological perspective why we feel the way we feel and how we can address this from that perspective. There's another book that I love from an author that I love called Behave. The author is very similar, and the author is someone that I've been following for like a long time. His name is Robert Sapolsky. He's a neurobiologist, and he explains how things work from a biological and evolutionary perspective. Very clever, tons of very solid scientific information. But if you want to understand how to practice this, maybe there's another book that will be better. There's one book called No Bad Part from Richard Schwartz. And this is basically a system. Richard Schwartz is the guy who came up with the IFS, the Internal Family System. He's just a very renowned and important psychologist. And that book teaches us basically the system that he has developed over the years to look after his patients. And so that's a different way to look at it. It's not just the emotions, it's the different parts within us. But different parts are different emotional parts as well. So maybe, have a look at all of those books. I'm not going to repeat it, but you can watch that live stream on replay at some point tomorrow when YouTube would have fully uploaded it. And so, yes, those are some of the books that I have in front of me. Yeah, Richard Schwartz, Robert Sapolsky, and Amy Apigian for the biology of trauma. But there's also another one that I'm only just started from Lisa Feldman Barrett, and it's called How Emotions Are Made. So that, and yeah, so this is actually quite a very accessible book, How Emotions Are Made. Maybe check this one first instead of the ones that I suggested before. How Emotions Are Made by Lisa Feldman Barrett. Are you a therapist yourself, or are you dealing with your own baggage? Iman. Crowberry Black. How to stop having black and white thinking. The all or nothing attitude has mistook. You do it by learning how to expand your mind. So it's a very good thing that you're aware that you have this, because most of us we don't. And it's true that when we start in life, we all have that black and white thinking. And we all suffer, we're all limited by it. We all fight against each other. We all clash with other people because it's either black or white. We don't realize that very often we agree with other people. It's just that we don't present that argument in the same way. We don't see it from the same angle. And so we do this by expanding our level of self-awareness. There's something called dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, that does just that. It teaches people how to essentially accept and realize that two or more opposite truths can coexist. And so this is typically for people like me who have borderline personality disorder. And an example would be, that person hurt my feelings, but they still love me. So there are two conflicting information that actually can coexist. But if we have BPD, we can't accept this because we have been conditioned to survive. So we can't access our critical thinking or rational mind. We are reacting emotionally. So it's either my friend or my enemy. I've got to know straight away. And this is why many of us are thinking in black and white, because we're living in a state of stress, reactivity, anxiety. We have some baggage and we're still trying to survive. We're feeling attacked by the world, by people, by our own thoughts all the time. And so, therapy, mindfulness, DBT, there are many different ways for you to get there. But you have started already. Simple, soft days. You just explained positive nihilism. Okay, good. In that case, it's good if it's positive, right? Gosh, it means that I'm behind. Guys, this is live. I will get to all of your questions. Just 1 second, please. My watch is telling me that it's time for me to post my third TikTok post of the day. If you don't believe in yourself, just bear with me 1 second, please.
Manchester office back in the day.
Oops. If you don't believe in yourself, oops. If you don't believe in yourself, you will believe anything that they want you to believe about yourself. Great post. I was just appreciating my work. Okay, and so let's go back to our FLK Ocean. That's where I have problem. I find it hard for me to find meaning, the meaning of life. Okay, so you don't find the meaning. There's none. You give it. You explore. How do you find the meaning of life? First, you don't find it. What you want to do is to explore life. And as you explore life, as you try different things, as you travel, as you meet different people, as you have different experiences, as you read new books, as you have new thoughts, then you have a better idea of what life means to you. That's it. It's not like there's a specific treasure, a quest, a meaning we need to find, a graal, something specific. No. Life is an experience. And so the meaning of life means you enjoying life. And at some point you will know, this is the things that I like. I like this more, I like this less. So I need to go in that direction and create, shape a life that reflects my preference. That's all there is. If you suffer from it, it's because you have the pressure, I must find the meaning of life. Like a lot of us do, we believe that I must find my purpose. You don't have to find your purpose. Your purpose finds you when you're ready for it. It is that difference. Does it help, FLK Ocean? Kevin read yours. What did you read? Are you talking about my books? I typed it in, but smartphone misspelled it. Okay. Judith Red Eyes. Can you give advice on how to overcome severe test anxiety and fear of failure? Thank you, cancer. Okay. So the fear of failure, so let me try. Can you give advice on how to overcome severe test anxiety? By letting go of the pressure, by letting go of the importance of it. The reason why you have so much anxiety and pressure is because you're thinking, it's important, I have to get it right. If I don't get it right, my life is over. My parents are going to shut me down. Society is going to throw stones at me. Kids in the street are going to laugh at me. I'm going to be humiliated. Because you think that, you're creating stress and anxiety and pressure. And so it's not easy, but this is something that you can try. Change the meaning of that test. Think to yourself, it's just a test. I'm going to do my best, and my best is good enough. And whatever happens is good enough. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I would have done my best. And I must appreciate that I've done my best. And my best is all that I can do, and it's all that I need to do. And that's it. Learn how to accept that you may not win, and it's okay. And that will let go of the anxiety and the pressure. As long as you believe, I must win, I have to do this, now you're creating stress for yourself. And I know that it's not easy. Maybe your parents, maybe the expectations of your family, of your community, of people that you look up to, your teachers, anyone at all. Let go of that. You are making your life harder. If you want your brain to be optimal, for you to learn, to remember, to find the right information at the right time for your test, you must be relaxed. And so you must sleep well. Do your best to understand how your brain works, as in organize your studies so that you do it in little chunks of time with a break, so that your brain has time to process this information. And then have breaks where you're going to play ping pong, go for a walk, have some fun, chill out, meditate, whatever, and then get back to it so that your brain is optimal. It's not about, you can't force your brain. Your brain has a limit. And so what you want to do is to engage your brain to want to get information in, because your brain loves those sort of things. Get it excited instead and get it fresh. Right? If you have stress and pressure, you're going to make it worse. But also the way that you learn. And you want to also realize that whatever you've learned up to this point is somewhere within your subconscious mind. So you don't need to finish those 10 books before you go to bed. Just maybe go back on the bullet points or some bit and then focus on sleeping instead. Spend more time chilling, allow for your brain to process, to discard anything that doesn't serve you, so that tomorrow morning you are fresh and ready for that test. But you have to let go of the pressure that you are posing yourself. Accept that you may not get it. It doesn't matter. You have a whole life ahead of you. People are creating pressure for you as well. And it's not their fault they do this, because they believe that it's the only reality they can have. And so it's the same for you. But it's not like that. You can absolutely think, you know what, my best is always good enough. And I want to learn how to enjoy my studies. I want to learn how to enjoy that project. I want to learn how to enjoy what I'm doing. If you don't enjoy, if you don't chill, if you don't find happiness and peace, it's going to be much, much harder for you to do anything at all as far as your brain is concerned. Does it help, Judith? Kevin, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Kevin. Iman, appreciate the recommendations. Thanks a lot again. Always enjoy your content. Thank you so much, Iman. Crowberry Black, I'm so sorry I'm being very confusing for you. It's no problem. Try again. Hopefully we get that at some point. Shashank said hi. Song Ninja, I'm going to get rid of you because what you said is actually offensive. Okay, any racial stereotypes are offensive. So for the sake of me creating a space where people are kind and happy and connecting with one another, you don't belong here at this point in time, I'm afraid. Hi user on this channel, and let's forget all about that person. We won't be able to see whatever you've written, just so you know. Right? Kevin, this is not a dress rehearsal. I don't understand what you're talking about, Kevin. Tabasco abuser. The holidays are always supposed to be a time of celebration and happiness. And for me, it's sadness and loneliness. I get it. I get it. We can talk about it if you want. For me, holidays time were always the worst. I tried to unalive myself many times when I was a teenager and in my early 20s. And it was always, not always, I did it also in summertime, but many times it was during the Christmas and end of the year time. And that is because for many of us, we are witnessing a lot of people being happy and we don't have that happiness. And so the contrast makes it very cruel to us. We see everyone being happy, big family, they love each other, they have a lot of gift and some food, and it's warm, there's a fireplace, there's some songs, and we don't have any of those things. We have hurt, we have trauma, we have self-hatred, we have all sort of things instead that are terrible and that feel worse because everyone is supposed to be happy with some Christmas music in the background. And so I get it. I get it. But if it can make you feel better, we're coming to the end of it. Today is the 31st of December, is the end of it. Tomorrow is the start of the new year. And from already a week ago, we have passed the winter solstice. So what it means is that every day we're getting a little bit more of daytime, a bit more light. And so this is something to look forward to. Every day, the days are getting longer. And so maybe that could be something you want to focus your mind on. Do you want to talk? Tabasco abuser? Iman, oh, not a therapist, just I'm dealing with my own issues. Okay, we can talk about anything if you want. I'm saying this because I know that some therapists sometimes pop into my channel and so, you know, just in case. Veronice Lascano, I need the subtitle. Another troll. Veronice, I'm going to get rid of you. Usually you speak slowly. So very often, people who are some trolls, they like to do that. Usually you speak slowly, and they're trying to make me to speak louder or slower so that they can manipulate people because it makes them happy to do this with strangers on the internet. So I understand, and it happens. We're all different. There are all sort of reasons as to why we do different things. But this is who I am. This is how I speak like. And just because of the way you started a conversation, I can feel my intuition is telling me that you're a troll. And so I'm going to have to get rid of you, I'm afraid. So Veronice, we're going to hide user on this channel. I think you will still be able to see and hear us, but we won't see anything that you've written. Let's move on to the next person. Monica Sharma, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Monica. Crowberry Black. Yes, I'm overcoming the trauma and looking to utilize newfound tools. Okay, again, we can talk about all of those things if you want. FLK Ocean, thank you. Thank you. Your inputs are good. Fantastic. I'm glad you appreciate them. Emma Austin, thank you. Thank you. Emma Austin, probably to do with lack of sunlight. Talking about the depression, it's one of the reasons as well. Some people suffer from SAD, which is seasonal affection or affectional disorder, something like that. And basically it's the lack of sun. And so for those who suffer from lack of sunlight, There's some artificial light, like the one I'm using here, that are creating something that can help with that. I don't know if it can replace it. The best thing we can try to do, is to go out whenever we know there's going to be some light, whether it's sunny or not. And I know that in some countries, like in the UK, it's quite of a challenge. But if we can realize that, okay, check the weather report every day and find out when the day arrives, when it's going to finish, and find a way to go out and expose yourself. If there's some sun, don't look at it directly, but allow for the sunlight to hit your eyeballs so that it hits the back of your brain for 20 minutes every day. If there's no sun, still, just daylight is still something. And if it's really, really gloomy and dark, get yourself an SAD lamp or some artificial lamp and expose yourself to it for 20 minutes. And that will help our brain producing whatever chemicals it needs to produce to look after ourselves. Yes, a lot of people suffer from depression in winter because it's cold, because it's dull, because of Christmas time, because of the pressure of the new year. And so there is that moment where we are going to look back and thinking, maybe I had a terrible year, but also looking forward. And so that's why so many of us, we are focusing on New Year's resolution. We're looking forward. I'm going to say goodbye to that terrible year. And it's not a bad thing to do because it's getting us into a positive mindset for one moment. But we want to realize that there's no demarcation between today and tomorrow and yesterday. Every day is just a day with the same opportunities, the same self. What we want to do is not believing that we depend on the day or the year or the calendar for life to be different. It's all down to how we feel about ourselves and how we perceive reality. And so I, for instance, someone said that they were happy to see me on New Year's Eve, and it is New Year's Eve, but I don't really care. For me, it's still a working day, and I love every day. I love the fact that it was the end of the year, and it's going to be a start of a new one from tomorrow, but I don't even think about it. I've got stuff to do. I'm busy developing stuff, growing stuff, working on stuff, and I'm excited every day. And so, yes, I forgot what I was telling you, all of those things. It will come back, hopefully. New Year's resolution. Yeah. I forgot. Anyway, let's move on. Emma Austin, perfect answer, Didi Khan. That is exactly what I do. Happy New Year, and also if you celebrate also Chinese New Year. Okay, thank you. Yes, it's going to be the year of the horse, I think, this year. I don't really celebrate anything, I'm going to say. I appreciate holidays. I appreciate people gathering and celebrating stuff together, whatever they are celebrating. I appreciate any opportunities for people to be together. And so whatever religions, whatever festivities, it's always fun. But I don't follow any specifically myself. Simple soft days. I feel a little ashamed that I'm alone during the holidays. Oh, okay, we can talk about this if you want. There shouldn't be any reason as to why you feel ashamed. What I'm trying to say is that I know that it's true and valid for you, but that's not because there's a real reason as to why you should feel ashamed. It's because you have some belief about yourself in regards to that. So we can talk about this if you want. Is it a pattern? Is it something that you have every year? What sort of shame are we talking about? If you don't mind, if you can share with us the sort of thoughts that you have. What are you ashamed of? Is it because you believe that everyone, normal people, should be with their family, and if I'm not like them, there's something wrong about me? If that's it, then I'm going to dismantle this for you right away. We're all different. We're all sort of different lifestyles, different systems, different ways to celebrate at the end of the years or not. And you don't have to follow something to be normal or to be not ashamed. Some people love to be on their own. Some people choose to be with certain types of people. It doesn't matter. I know some people who love spending every end of the year doing some work for charities, looking after serving food to homeless people, those sort of things. And it's a thing, and why not? I know someone who loves to spend a whole week at the end of the year on his own, watching some movies in his flat, some war movies or horror movies or video games, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're all different. It's really about finding out whatever works for us. And if you're going through a rough time, it's about finding out whatever is easier for you at this point in time. You have nothing to prove to anyone. You don't have to tick any box for you to be normal or accepted or acceptable. Kevin, one day at a time. Yes. Cranberry Black. I've been self-isolating for a very long time, so being alone during the holidays really doesn't bother me too bad. Okay. So yes, we all are different, and also life changes. So maybe for some of us, we start our life with a big family around the Christmas tree, but as we get older, people start to shift. They have different priorities, they travel, they change as well. They may not want to see us, or we may not want to see them anymore. Some people die. There are all sorts of things happening. It's just called life. We must accept that things were always meant to change. And so what matters is not that you're not able to recreate what you had in the past or what you think you should have, but what are you going to do with what you have at hand today, tonight, this week, this weekend, or whatever. Be creative. Come up with something that works for you and enjoy your own creativity, as opposed to believing that my happiness can only happen if I have all those things into place. And we see this a lot with Christmas holidays. A lot of people suffer from anxiety and stress and pressure because they need to make everything perfect for the holidays. And so a lot of people don't realize, but during Christmas time, for me, I always suffered from depression in the past. Now I'm okay. But for me, it was always depression. But actually, the biggest cause of mental health problems throughout the holiday seasons is not depression. It's actually anxiety because of the stress of trying to make everything perfect. And so different people, different problems, but it's all coming from the same place. The idea that we must conform to something in order to find happiness, instead of trying to create our own system of happiness. Yeah. Eva Van Damme. Hi Didi. How do I communicate with a person that I know is ghosting about me? He's a doctor and I'm just an energy therapist. And Happy New Year to you. Okay, Happy New Year. So let me try to understand. How do I get to communicate with a person that is ghosting you? You don't. If they're ghosting you, they don't want to communicate with you. You can't force someone to have your attention. You either get it or not. Accept that some people you can get the attention of naturally, easily, and some others you may not. Let me try to read again, try to understand. How do I communicate with a person that I know is ghosting? I don't understand. Did I miss something? So it's not about getting the attention, it's about you communicating. So I get it wrong. How do I communicate with someone that is, what is ghosting? I translated it as ghosting, but I may be wrong. What did you mean by ghosting? Let me Google it. Maybe it means something that I don't know. Maybe it's an English word that I never come across. Ghosting. Gossiping. Is that what you misspelled? Let me try again. I think it's gossiping. How do I communicate with a person that I know is gossiping about me? Okay, I get it. It makes more sense. How do you communicate with them? Tell them. What are you on about? Why did you tell those people those things that are not true? Just confront that person. He's a doctor and I'm just an energy therapist and Happy New Year to you. Yes, so basically, I understand. That person is higher in the hierarchy and he's talking rubbish about you. And so now you are caught into two different places. Do I want to be honest or do I want to risk my position? It depends. Listen to your intuition and do what feels right for you. There's no right or wrong answer because there's so many parameters to take into consideration that I don't know of. And so only you knows what feels easier for you in the moment. Listen to your intuition. Follow your path of least resistance. Learn how to tune yourself with your body, with your feelings, with your intuition, and see what happens. That's it. If you feel that it's more important for you to speak out your truth, regardless of the consequence, go for it. And you may actually do something very good for you. But if you feel that it's not safe, if your nervous system is telling you, you know what, oh, I don't know about this, then don't. Whatever we choose to do in the moment, if we could learn how to follow our intuition, things will be much easier. The moment we get trapped in the head and we start to overthink things, now we don't know what to do because there's many parts of us. So there's a lot of different voices that disagree. And we're trying to control things. We don't control anything and we cannot know the outcome of any situation. We must accept this. But by following our intuition, there are more chances that we are at least going to go with our flow and it's going to be it's like a compass that we can rely on, and if we follow it, then we have a system. If we are trapped in our head, we're going to change our mind, we're going to change system every time, and we're never going to be able to collect enough data to understand the bigger picture. I hope it makes sense. Thank you for your hearts. I'm going to assume that somehow someone get this. Shanta, how do I communicate with a girl who lives like 100 miles away from me in a different country? Through internet? I don't know. Through text messages? Through telephone? That's how we communicate with people who live far away from us, isn't it? Unless I missed something. What do you mean by this? I don't understand your question. Crowberry Black, you are right. We are each valid and we have valid feelings. Yeah. All of us were all valid. Gossiping, I mean, yes, I get it, eventually. The man gossiping, thank you. It's like playing a crossword or charade game. Everyone's got it except me. I get it eventually, thank you. Eva Van Damme, talking behind my back. Yes, I get it. So I hope that my answer somehow was satisfying, was it? Mandy said hi. Hello. Eva. Okay, so it's a yes from Eva. I'm going to have a sip of tea. I'm coming to the end of the thread for now. So is there anything else you'd like to ask me, guys? I'm going to stay here for another half an hour, I think, if you keep me going. And I'm glad, I like the fact that AI, when I type gossiping, said gossiping is likely a misspelling of gossiping. So AI is clever enough to actually read through misspelling, which happens a lot now because everything is very quick with the thumbs. There you go. Pumpkin Puff. I was super stressed over the weekend and I wrote a question down. Okay, let's read it. Were you stressed because of Christmas time? I'm going to blow my nose, if you don't mind. Just 1 second, please. It's a bit full. I'm sorry for the noise. I'm just realizing that my mic is just under my nose. You must have heard an explosion. It's better. I can breathe now. Pumpkin Puff. When being overwhelmed, how do you handle spitting? You mean splitting, right? Another misspelling. When we're overwhelmed, not everyone spits. But I seem to remember that you have BPD, right? And so if you have BPD, splitting is one of those things that we do. And what it means is that we are going to be in a survival reactive mode where we need to straight away decide if something is black or white, right or wrong, safe or unsafe. With splitting, we are going to be either be infatuated, for instance, with someone. I love that person, I will do everything for them, they're amazing, they're the best people in the world. Or the second after, just because of something they said, I hate them. I always hated them, they're always trying to destroy me, I must destroy them first. Those sort of things. And so how do you deal with splitting? I think we had a conversation before. If you have BPD, you want to address the BPD. Splitting is not a problem. Splitting is the symptom of a problem. The problem is the BPD. It's like, I'm trying to come up with some analogy here. It's like if you've been cut and you're bleeding, you're going to say, oh, how do I deal with the blood staining the floor or whatever? You address the wound, not the blood. And so, yes, with BPD, I think the best thing to do about this is for you to give me an incident. Tell me about what happened. And maybe we can address that specific trigger that got you to split in that moment over the weekend. Cranberry Black. What makes you decide to be an RTT therapist? I didn't really decide. It's everything about my life is a happening. It just happens. And so that chapter of my life was me being a mindset coach. And I wanted to explore more about the subconscious mind. And so I came across that course from Marisa Peer. And when I signed up, I didn't realize it was about hypnotherapy. I saw her TED Talk, and for me, it was more about the psychology. I thought that she was going to teach me about the human mind. And again, because of my conditions, I didn't realize. I just get overexcited and I just signed up and I spent my last savings on that course in the hope that I would learn about human psychology. But then, just maybe 3 days before the course, I had a look at it again and I realized, oh, it's hypnotherapy. Oh, okay, let's see what happens. I've always been going with my flow like that. And so I went and did the course. It was a live course. The first bit is a live course, I mean, back then. And then there's online stuff. But the first bit was like a couple of weeks of intense training every day there. And the hypnotherapy didn't work on me. So I was like, gosh, I spent my last pennies on that course, and I'm never going to be able to use this because it doesn't work on me. But as it happens, on the last day of our hypnosis sessions, Marisa Peer herself used me as a guinea pig to do a session in front of the class. And so that happened. And then from that moment, I was sold, and I've been using RTT in my practice as an RTT therapist ever since. But it's not as if I knew about the system, I understood it well. I really ended up there by accident, like many of the things that have been in my life. I follow my intuition, I get overexcited, and then I end up in places. And when I look back, it's always a good thing, even though in the moment, sometimes I'm like, what did I do? Yeah. But if you're wondering why I'm a therapist, this is because I've always been fascinated by the mind, and because I always wanted to heal my own self. I had tons of baggage, tons of problems. I had a very horrible past, childhood, teenagehood, and young adulthood that lasted nearly 4 decades. I started to change at the age of 38. 39 was when I started to really be different. But it took me over time. I used to be a very different person. And so I've always been on a journey to try to understand myself, understand the world, understand the mind. And so, yeah, everything that I've done is a continuation of everything that happened to me, as in with all of us. Even when we think that we're going to decide to do something, that moment exists because of all the previous moments. And so it's never like there's something magic happening in this moment. It's that we are ready for that moment because of all the things that happened before. We're all the continuation of a journey that started the moment we were born, and for many of us, even from before we were born. So I'm not sure I answered your question. What made you decide to be an RTT therapist? It just happened. Yeah. Pumpkin puff. Yes, split. BPD split. I'm sorry, I type slow. It's all right, no worries. So I hope that I answered your question. Pumpkin puff. If you could give me what incident get you to split over the weekend, we can use it as a specific case. And we can address it, right? Otherwise, how do you stop splitting? By addressing the BPD. That's the answer. But if you don't give me anything specific, I cannot give you anything more, right? But I would love to have a conversation with you. If you can share with us what got you to split over the weekend. King's Cross VIP. Oh, hello. I live between King's Cross and Russell Square. Hello, Happy New Year. Thank you so much for your videos. Thank you so much for appreciating them, neighbor. Pumpkin puff. I was running around, cleaning, cooking, and I cut my finger opening the spice container. I snapped. There was no time for me to reset though. Okay, so when you are into the situation, you must accept that you are reacting, and so you must process what you want to do. So what is the problem? You just get angry, or did you get angry at someone? Was someone around you? Was someone the victim of your emotional outburst in that moment? If it happens, we must accept that, I'm reacting, let the anger out. That's what you want to do. Shout, scream, curse the spice, curse whoever designed that container that is so badly done that you cut yourself. Right? And then breathe, let it out. Now, if there are people involved, it's different. If you are surrounded by your family, if your grandma is in front of you, wondering what happened to you, we can talk about this, but this is what I'm talking about. Give me some specificity. King's Cross VIP. What is RTT? RTT stands for Rapid Transformational Therapy. It's the system that I use within my practice with my clients. It's a blend of hypnosis, regression, and what we do, we go back into the memories of the past, and we change the emotional energy of those memories so that we can, in turn, change how we see ourselves, how we see the world. We can reset our nervous system. We can teach our subconscious mind that we no longer need anxiety, we no longer need depression, we no longer need overthinking or addiction or any of those things, self-sabotage. Because all of those things are systems that we have put into place in childhood based on whatever happened to us then. And so RTT helps us address our problems from the subconscious mind. Cranberry Black. Humans and their psychology are very fascinating. Thank you. I'm happy you're here. Thank you for appreciating Rapid Transformational Therapy. Yes, that's the one. Pumpkin puff. I just felt like giving up. I knew I felt overwhelmed, and I knew I was on the edge of splitting, so I tried really hard, but feel like I just failed in every way. You didn't fail. You are a human being. You never fail. You're just experiencing your humanity. And the feeling of failure is part of your experience. So I appreciate that. Sometimes I feel like shit. Pardon my French. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed. Sometimes I feel despair. Sometimes I'm rageful. It's okay. It is you being human. You've not failed at all. What you can do, however, is that once it's happening, experience that experience. But the next moment, then you can work on it. When you have BPD and you are going through some emotional outburst, in the moment, there's nothing that you can do. Nothing. If you feel bad about that, you're going to make yourself feel worse. Accept, this is me, this is my program, this is my reaction, this is my trigger because of my trauma, because of what happened to me in the past. It's not my fault. I didn't choose that. You have not failed. What you can do, however, is to work before and after those moments. And this is what therapy does. And so what you do after, the first thing you want to do is to learn how to be kind to yourself. Stop telling yourself, I'm a failure. You're making yourself worse. Again, it's not your fault. It's your system of, your habit of thought at this point in time. It's not your fault. It's your fault. And so when this happens, accept I experience this, I get angry, I lost control, but it's okay. It's not my fault. You didn't choose to have BPD. You didn't choose to have whatever happened to you that gets you to have BPD. But the first thing you want to do after, so again, you can work before, after, not during. After, you want to be kind to yourself. Practice self-compassion, self-forgiveness. I did it again. It's okay. I'm going to keep on working on my BPD. I'm going to keep on seeing whoever that I'm seeing. I'm going to keep on learning about myself, and I will get better and better and better eventually. This is what you want to do. This is your lesson. This is your work. After it happens, practice self-compassion. And remember what I always say at the end of each live, be kind to yourself. That's what I always say. If you can, be kind to others. But if you can't be kind to others, at least be kind to yourself. This is exactly what it means. And so remember, next time, if you get into a state, be kind. Think about my voice. Think about Didi floating somewhere against yourself. Be kind to yourself. And then, it's okay. Next time will be slightly better. And maybe not next time, but at some point, things will get better and better. Thank you for the little heart. King's Cross VIP. Thank you, Crowberry. You're welcome. Pumpkin Puff. With arguing with my husband and all the stuff I said earlier than dealing with my family. So which one is which? I need one case at a time, right? You're giving me just the definition of someone who goes through his life because they have BPD, or their life. And so that's why I need specific. Otherwise, I'm going to say, yeah, address your BPD. That's all that I can say, right? Kevin, how to do things without overdoing it? It depends. It depends what you call overdoing. So it's all a matter of context. Nothing functions on a universal scale. Everything is context dependent, and that context changes each moment. And so overdoing, I don't know what it means. It depends. It depends on what you're doing, what you consider overdoing, how you feel in this moment. And so this is why in those situations, we want to revert back to the one thing that is constant, and that is your intuition. Instead of thinking things, how do you feel about it? Did you have enough? Or do you feel that you want to do more of it? Whatever you feel is going to be a good indicator of what you should be doing. Follow your excitement. Unless, of course, you have conditions. If you have ADHD, if you have CPTSD, now you may be caught. If you have bipolar, you may be caught into some trends of thoughts and behavior and action and not being able to stop those things. And so the conversation here will be not how to not overdo things, but how to deal with bipolar, how to deal with CPTSD, how to deal with emotional dysregulation, with hyperfixation, with obsession, OCD, with any of those things. It's a different question you want to ask yourself. What do you mean by overdoing things, Kevin? Rachel, so happy to catch you live. Thank you. I was wondering if you are comfortable telling us what your belief and faith is. I can. I talk about it all the time. And I believe in everything. I believe in quantum physics. So to me, all realities exist at the same time. And so I believe that reality is manufactured. It's an illusion. And I believe that we are infinite consciousness. I believe that we are all God. We're all a fragment of the universe. And the universe is everything in space and time. And the universe has fragmented itself in infinite perspectives so that it can experience itself from different perspectives. And as it's experiencing itself from different perspectives, it's how it expands. And so we are the universe that has forgotten that it was the universe, or God, if you believe in God. And I'm here to experience what it is to be Didikan, to be me, to be self, to be my ego, so that I can expand my adventure, see things from that perspective. And as I return into the source after this life, then I'm going to expand the universe from what I've gathered from that experience. And so I believe in all religions, I believe in all faith, I believe in all belief. I believe in Jesus, I believe in Buddha, I believe in Allah, I believe in Krishna, I believe in the big spaghetti monsters and all the unicorns in the sky. I believe in Odin, Anubis. I believe in all of them. I believe in aliens. I believe in ghosts. I believe in angels. I believe in tarot cards. I believe in numerology. I believe in magic crystals. I believe in people who can read the future in a cup of coffee. I believe in everything. I don't care. I believe that the infinite realities and everything is possible in some of those realities. But the most important part is that I accept that everyone has different belief. And so I will never push anything down anyone's throat. And I will never allow anyone to do this to me either. I have friends from all faith, from all religion. I have friends who are, many of them are atheists, and it's okay. I have friends with different philosophical or even political views. And I can see the humanity behind them still, nevertheless. The problem in this reality is that some of us live in fear, and we need to have an illusion of control. And if we've been conditioned by our tribe, by our community, that this is the truth, then we're going to make sure that we're going to try to get everyone to share the same truth. If other people disagree with my truth, it's dangerous. It doesn't fit my perspective of reality. And so that's how some people are trying to tell others, you must believe in my faith. Your faith is wrong. And this is where all the clashes in humanity since the dawn of it have started and existed. Because of fear, the illusion of control. I need to make sure that everyone agrees on that reality, on that truth, instead of accepting that all truth are real to some people, and it's okay, as long as they don't interfere with other people's truth. Yeah. And so when it comes to the divine, the way that I see it is that all gods have been created by humans at their image in a way that they could relate to God. It was an easier way for them to relate and connect with the divine, which is essentially what science hasn't explained yet, or will probably never be able to explain. And so that's it. That's my belief. What do you think about this? Who was it for? For Rachel Fallon. I can expand on this if you want, but I'm very, very open-minded. I believe that we're infinite consciousness. I don't believe there's a death. I believe that it's just us not experiencing that reality anymore, and then we're going to be in another space, time, or dimension, and we just shift from a reality to another. And one way to look at it is the one we are sleeping and dreaming. I believe that whenever we sleep and we're dreaming, in that moment, we're experiencing a different reality. And in that moment, it is the reality. And when we come back here, or maybe we go back there, we don't know. And so it's the same thing with death. Many people, there are more and more consensus in terms of spiritual thought that when we end this life, we're actually returning to source. It's like going back home. And then we get to decide, okay, let's do it again. Let's experience something else. In this life, I was this, I experienced that. I want to do something else the next time. Or maybe there's some cluster of soul, and maybe in this life, I was me, my mum was my mum, my husband was my husband, my brother was my brother. And then we're going to decide, let's do it again. But this time, I am dad. This time, you are the sister. This time, you are the bad guy, and you are the good guy. And let's see what happens. So we can experience a different version of that same, not a different version of that story. Yeah. What do you say, Rachel? What do you believe in? Do you want to talk about it? Kevin, how does rat differ from hypnosis? I don't know. Rat? I don't understand your question. Are you talking about hypnotizing rat? How does rat? Oh, RTT. Gosh, guys, make an effort to spell. It's funny though, but like it's like a game. Me trying to decipher languages. We all speak English. Okay, so I think that's what you mean. How does RTT differ from hypnosis? RTT is like hypnosis on hypnotherapy on steroid. We go back to the roots of the problem and we change the belief. with traditional classic hypnosis or hypnotherapy, what people do, they add something else on the top of our belief system, but they don't change the original core belief. And because of that, when people go through hypnotherapy, very often, after a while, they need a top-up. And that's if it worked, because sometimes it doesn't ever work. But if it works, and sometimes it works for some things, if you want to stop smoking, for instance, a lot of people have found success in that. But after a while, because they didn't remove the original belief, they have to do a top-up, and they need to go back and do some more work. With RTT, there's no top-up. We go back to the core of the problem, and we remove the root of the problem. And so, for instance, if someone smokes and they want to stop smoking and they use traditional hypnotherapy, they're going to listen to some recording saying, you don't want to smoke, smoking is bad. And so that is going to help them having different thoughts and different feelings in their body so that they don't feel like smoking. But if you don't address the original belief, why do I need to smoke? Why do I believe that smoking is good? What does smoking has that nothing else brings me? Then we will return to it at some point. With RTT, we address the reason. Why do you smoke? Why can't you find something else that will be a better option for your health? And if I'm going to take the example of smoking, for instance, the reason why people choose smoking or anything, first is because it makes them feel better. So it's a way they're going to regulate the nervous system. It's when we're facing stress, overwhelm, pressure. So they believe that whenever I'm feeling pressure, I must have something to help me feel better about myself. But then, why the smoking? Why not something else? It could be anything at all. And so now we need to find in their, maybe in their childhood, some attachment, some connection with someone significant to them that used to smoke. Maybe dad used to smoke, maybe grandma used to smoke, maybe at home it felt familiar, or maybe I was very lonely as a child, and when I grew up as a teenager, I was welcomed in a group of people who used to smoke. So they are my new tribe, my new family. I felt good. So I've created a positive association with the smell, with the feeling, with the experience of smoking. And so now, as an adult, whenever I'm stressed out, what is my subconscious going? I need something. What is it? What makes me feel at home? What makes me feel at home? Smoking. Or maybe it can be food for people who are struggling with their food intake, with their weight, or anything at all. And so with RTT, we address the root cause, the belief, the reasons as to why we have that thing. Why am I anxious? Why am I overthinking? Why do I get angry? Why do I always get in a state of rage? There's always a reason. And this is what RTT does. And that's why it's so much more powerful than traditional hypnotherapy. When I started RTT, some people came to me at the beginning, they didn't know what RTT was, and we wanted a top-up. And I was delighted to realize this and tell them, you know what? Today, your session is going to be your last session. You never need any top-up ever again for the rest of your life, because we need to go straight to the root of the problem. Pumpkin Puff. I snapped at my husband. I felt like I was doing too much, and he was honestly trying to help. I just went over the edge. Okay? So when it happens, your husband knows you, you know your husband, and you're both working together to heal your respective wounds and your baggage. And so accept that this is it. Shit happens. And in the moment, there's nothing you can do about it. Your husband must accept it. You must accept it. But you must also remind yourself after and before that you can do some work. And so when it comes to relationship, now it's twice as complicated. Your husband must remind himself that you have BPD. So you are not normal. The way he speaks to you, his facial expression, the tone of his voice, his body language, all of those things matter to you at a subconscious level. And he must know this. He must realize that you are not reacting to him. In that moment, it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You have become the Hulk. Like me, when I get angry because of my BPD. In that moment, I am not myself. He must realize that you are not the same person in that moment. And you must realize that he also has something. So I don't know what it is, but for him to be with someone with BPD tells me that he has his own baggage as well. Because no one would deal with someone with BPD unless we have some attachments to those sort of dynamics, right? So same thing that I said before, accept. Both of you accept and learn how to learn out of those experiences afterward. Kevin, rather, I mean, Strawberry Black, you should definitely practice self-compassion and self-empathy. You're talking to someone there, right? You're talking to Pumpkin Puff, I think. Pumpkin Puff. Okay, so it's a thought, not my fault. Yes, I will write that down. Yes, there you go. Just like that, we've created a meme tonight. Pumpkin, but I'm responsible for my actions. No, you're not. You're not responsible for your reactions in the moment, because those reactions are your conditioning, your program that is born from your trauma. You are not responsible for that. What you're responsible of is after. You're responsible for being, you are responsible for being kind to yourself. This is what you're responsible for. That's it. At this point in time, just focus on that. And as you do that, you will start to have more clarity about yourself. You will start to be able to change more, little bit by little bit, more and more so every day. And that's what will create healing over a long period of time. But you don't owe anyone, like, I'm responsible for my mental health, I must be good. No, you didn't choose that. Stop thinking like that. It's not your fault. It's no one's fault. No one has to be responsible for anything. As a matter of fact, I've created a video a little while ago about this. Check it out. Let me promote my long form video. There's a video that I've posted 2 months ago called Nothing is Your Responsibility. Precisely. Check it out. It's a 23 minutes video. And the thumbnail is blue and it's written Gaslighting Awareness. And the title is Nothing is Your Responsibility. Check it out. That will really, I believe, help you, right? You're not responsible for your actions. You're not responsible for anything at all. No one is responsible. This is just self-righteousness. This is people who have no empathy, people who have no problem. They don't understand, but some of us are overwhelmed. If we've been overwhelmed from the start of our life, we never chose that. What you're responsible of is to be kind to yourself. And as you do that, you will heal and you will start to be better with your relationships as well. But we want to let go of that idea you are responsible, because that adds more pressure, that adds more stress, and that makes your life much harder in regards to everything, but especially in regards to your healing journey. Strawberry Black, because from my understanding of BPD, it comes from being abused. It's only what I understand from, so give yourself what you were lacking as a child. Yes, absolutely. Yes, I agree, totally. This, absolutely. King's Cross VIP. It sounds like us human don't know it is acceptable and legitimate to have many different emotions, maybe not knowing the full emotions. Yes, so we need to learn about it. No one has taught us about emotional intelligence. That's why so many of us suffer. That's why the world is in the state it is, because we're all repressing our emotions, and now we are behaving in ways, reacting in ways that are all over the place. And so, yes, I agree with you. We live in a society and culture that didn't know much about emotions up till not long ago. Everything is about intelligence, IQ, smart, clever, as opposed to being kind, being in touch with your body and your emotions. And this is an intelligence. This is actually a more important intelligence than cognitive intelligence. And the reason behind this is because our emotional mind is 95% of our mind. Your thinking mind is only 5%. I think many of us who have interest in psychology have seen that picture of the iceberg, and the top of it is your rational, cognitive, analytical mind, your head, your brain, and the rest of it, your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind, is your body. It's an emotional mind, it's a feeling mind. And we're only being trained and taught to use that instead of the whole of it. And not only we've been taught to only use that, but we've been taught how to ignore all of our emotions and feelings. And because of that, we suffer. For the vast majority of us, the problem is that an inability to understand our emotions, our body, unnatural self. So yes, one very important part of therapy is to indeed learn about emotional intelligence as well. Kevin, ever study a course in miracles? No, I don't know what it means. I've heard that phrase before. So a course in miracle. It's a book from 1976 by Helen Schuckman. The underlying premises is that the greatest miracle is the act of simply gaining a full awareness of a love's presence in a person's life. She said the book has been dictated to her, words for words, via a process of inner dictation from Jesus Christ. Okay, fair enough. No, I haven't studied that book. And, that could be possible as well. I believe that we channel, some of us are able to channel different things, different people, and so why not? But no, I haven't heard it. I haven't read it. And I think it's a good book in the sense that it's promoting love. But I believe that there's more to this than that. But I think I understand where she's coming from. Yeah, I won't read that book just yet because I've got tons of book to read. But yeah, thank you for the input. Kevin. Jasmine said hi. Hello, Jasmine. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, sorry. It just all feels like it's related to how I got to my breaking point, but maybe it's only one trigger. Your whole life is full of triggers. That's what BPD does. It's protecting you from everything with a system of triggers. Pumpkin Puff. Thinking about it, honestly, I think the trigger was feeling like I was expected to be perfect. And when I couldn't reach that, I just blamed my husband for not doing more. My expectation was the problem. Yes. So there you go. You found your own answer. Let go of the expectation, let go of the pressure. When you say, I was expected to be perfect, is it in your mind or is it what people tell you? I don't think people told you that, because if anyone knows you, they know that you have some conditions, and so they can't expect you of anyone to be perfect, right? And so this is you thinking, I must be perfect. And so this is where the problem starts, if that's the case. Tell yourself, I don't want to be perfect. Perfect doesn't mean anything. What I can do, however, is to do my best to experience this moment as perfectly as possible. Allow myself to be myself, allow myself to enjoy myself, allow myself to get angry if I feel like it, and allow myself to forgive myself the following moment. Thank you for your hearts. Marco Di Rizio, how old is he? I don't know, who are you talking about? King's Cross VIP. I am a Muslim and I appreciate your good consciousness. Thank you. Rachel Fallon, that was a beautiful response and I completely agree with you. Fantastic, thank you. King's Cross, nice. Pumpkin, when you question your motives, you came up with an understanding and self-compassion by understanding your feelings at the time. Thanks for sharing. Okay. Grateful One, good evening, brother. Trust you are well. I'm well indeed. How about you? Grateful One, please do more lives. Really enjoy hearing your point. Okay, I'm here every week, twice a week. I think that's enough, right? Every Wednesdays and every Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time. And thank you for your support. I'm glad you appreciate. Grateful One, wow, are you in London? Yes, I live between King's Cross and Russell Square. Mandy, I smoke a clove once a month. I don't inhale. I just roll it around, blow smoke rings, and enjoy the moment. Okay, fair enough. Rachel Fallon, I had a plant medicine experience with Bufo, and it was revealed to me exactly your description of what the God/universe source is. Okay, we're all sparks of life from one source. Yes, okay. Gosh, I'm really behind. I'm coming down to your comments. I don't ignore anyone unless there are trolls trying to get me to react. Kevin, can you buy a book on RTT and learn it that way? No, you can't. You have to do it through her channel. So I don't know about it because I did it, I don't know, 8, nearly 9 years ago. So things have changed. But you can do, I think, live. I don't know if she does it anymore. Maybe she has a team of people who does it on her behalf. But you need to do some live course. But there are some options where you can do it also online. But you don't have the same titles. I think you can be either an RTT practitioner or an RTT therapist, depending on which package you go for, depending on how long you study. So you have to go and find out. It's a very protected copyright. So RTT has got to be done through the RTT people. You can't do this with book, I'm afraid. And I'm not afraid, actually. It's a very, very complex system, so it does require a lot of work to get it right. The way I done it is that the first part was 2 weeks live, and then after that, for a whole year, we did some work online. And after that, that's when you are given the title of RTT therapist. Cranberry Black, yes, I was talking to Pumpkin Puff. Okay. Salman, are you a Chinese? I'm not a Chinese. ZPT Dura, being kind to myself and practicing gratitude has really changed my thought patterns for the better. Well done, ZPT. Salman, I'm going to just answer your question, but I'm not going to go any further because I don't tolerate any trolls, and I'm not sure if you're one of them just yet. But no, I'm not Chinese. Genetically, my genes are Chinese, but my passport is French, and I've been living in London, in the UK, for 28, maybe 29 years now. I just realized it's 6 minutes past 8, so I'm going to go quicker because I want to resume the other things that I'm doing with my night. But I will read all comments. Pumpkin Puff, thank you, Didi. I've seen a few of your videos, but I will find and watch that video of yours. Fantastic. Please do. And let me know in the comment section on that video how you feel about it. Pumpkin Puff, I hope you have a good evening, Didi. I will also keep in mind to be kind to myself. Yes, please. Z, do you recommend taking RTT training without any other psychological educational background? Are you able to be an effective clinician with this modality without another educational background? It's important to know about the mind. However, it's possible to learn as you go. Now, of course, the more you know, the better. And so if you're a beginner, if you don't know anything about the mind, you can still start as an RTT, but just be honest with people and charge people what your services are good for. So there are things that you can do easily that don't require much understanding of the human mind. Simple things. Maybe you can address phobia. Maybe you can address stop smoking cigarettes, those sort of things. Light, simple stuff. And as you start as an RTT practitioner, you will learn yourself by reading tons of books every day. And that's how you start to understand more as you're looking after people, as you're reading more. And over time, if you do this, you will get to a good level and you'll be able to be all right. Some people, they come from a background where they have already an understanding of human psychology, so that helps. But sometimes it takes a lot to make a good therapist. So it's not just this or that. There's no golden rule. It's about doing the right thing for the right reason. So why do this for? And so generally speaking, we do those things because we have our own problems, or we know some people who do close to us. And so we have a motivation, an emotional motivation to do those things. And so that will be our first specialisms. If you are a therapist and you do a little bit of everything, it's fair enough. But to me, it tells me that they are not necessarily the persons that I would choose. If I have a problem, I'd rather choose someone who understands my specific problems because they've been there and we find a way out of there. And so that's the difference. And so what makes a good therapist is their own experience as a human being, what they know about whatever conditions they have to address, and also the experience. So all of those things together, but also your level of connection with them, very important. And so my answer is that do whatever feels right to you. If you want to do this, it's not a bad thing, even if you don't know anything about psychology. But it makes a huge difference. A lot of people who start, they don't have any clue, and they have never read any books, they have never done anything, and they are very, very lost. I used to go to some, not anymore, but I used to go to forums of new therapists, and some of them are like, oh, please, please, please stick to the simple stuff, because because if they take on board things that they don't understand, that can be problematic. Shuf was taken. Are you Chinese? I love China from India, #1 in the world. Okay, fair enough. Best friends country. Okay, thank you. I don't associate myself with a country, but you know what? Thank you for the kind intention. King's Cross VIP. Shu was taken. I love Israel from India. That's a bit strange. What's your favorite anime? I don't do anime, I'm afraid. It's not my things. King's Cross. Thank you, Rick, and have a good night. Didi. All right. Okay. Are you going now? Okay. Good night to you. I'm going to go soon as well. Left-handed trigger finger said hi. Shuf. I'm so curious who I'm communicating with through the emojis. Z. Thank you. Great explanation. Okay. Grateful. I'm also living in London, brother. I would love to take you for a coffee if you have any free time. I would love to collaborate with you. All right. I have an interesting idea I think you might be interested in. Okay, sure. I spend a lot of time in Russell Square. So if you want, all you can do is to meet there at some point. I go there as often as I can. I walk there, I meditate there, I chill there, or King's Cross. If you feel, if you want to talk to me about any project at all, I'm happy to have a conversation with you. Nitin, Happy New Year to all. Thank you. Okay, guys, I'm going to go now. It's 11 minutes past 8, so time for me to resume my other stuff. I'm going to wish you all a great end of the year and the start of the new year. For those who don't know me, I come here every Wednesdays and every Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time. And so I'm going to be back. I am going to be back Friday, the 2nd of January. So if you want to talk about more things, if you know anyone who could benefit from those sort of chats, bring them over. Follow me, subscribe if you haven't yet, and that's it. If you need more info about me also as a therapist and coach, there's a link on my bio to my website. So I'm going to read the last comment. Grateful one. What's the best point of contact, bro? As I said, go on my bio. There's a link to my website, and from my website you can send me an email. And from that email we can organize a meeting if you want to have a coffee or a walk in the park or something like that. Okay. Sprinkle. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year to you. Grateful. Happy New Year, brother. Imak guy. Why is my face in your background? I don't understand. I'm going to just ignore you. A grateful one. Happy New Year to you all. Okay, guys. I love you all. Take care. Be kind to people if you can, and remember to be kind to yourself at least. And that'll be it for now. And also check my long form content. I put a long video today on my YouTube called The Myth of Stupidity. And I'm very proud of that video. It's about stupid people and why people are so stupid, why we are stupid, what does it mean? And on the thumbnail, it says, we're all stupid and it's okay. So if you have 12 minutes and you want to have an insight about what I think about that topic, check it out, please. And let me know in the comments how you feel about it. Guys, love you all. Bye-bye for now.